Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this snowy Saturday. Right now we are looking at our deck cam, and as you can see, visibility is pretty poor. We've got snow falling right now, and also snow that has previously fallen is actually blowing around. But actually, as a special treat today, we are going to take a look with a first-person view. So Tom is actually going to step out onto the deck now and make his way through the A-frame, and you can see we have a group of people out there. These are the Kilted Hikers. So every year, the nonprofit Mount Washington Observatory does our Seek the Peak fundraiser, and the Kilted Hikers were last year's top fundraising team. And so the prize for that was they got the keys to the castle, which was an overnight experience up on the summit. So they're outside right now enjoying the winter weather and very enthusiastic. And so we're so grateful for all the support they've given us, and through the years they've been fundraising for us for several years. And we are gearing up for this year's Seek the Peak, actually, which will be the July 20th to the 21st. So we encourage you guys to check out our website for more information about that. But you can see here, everyone's really having a good time. Winds right now are just gusting to hurricane force. So pretty exciting to be outside. You can see they're getting a lot of rime ice on them, which is basically when we are in the fog and the temperature is below freezing. But Tom's going to head back inside now, and we're going to bring it over to the current summit conditions. So looking right now at the current summit conditions page, you can see the current sustained wind speed is 65 miles an hour, and our 10-minute gust is 75. So hurricane force is actually when you hit 74 miles an hour or above. So we are gusting into hurricane force right now. From the past 24 hours, we've picked up 4.6 inches of snow. And actually over the next 24, we're probably going to pick up another 12 or so by the time things wrap up. Interestingly enough, a little bit more snow than we've actually saw when that nor'easter the other day passed through. So pretty exciting. Temperatures right now are 6 degrees, which is a little bit colder than average, but not too far out of the realm of what's average for up here. So with that, we are going to bring it over to Tom, who's going to start talking about the forecast for the next 48 hours, and then also take a look at the upcoming potential storm this Monday. So with that, I'll hand it over to Tom.
All right, back inside here where it's nice and warm. We will take a look at the weekend forecast ahead, and then also a look at the potential storm system, or the effects of it at the very least, that we'll be seeing Monday into Tuesday. First off, we're taking a look across the country here at the GFS models, precipitation and mean sea level pressure. We can see that over the northeast here there is already some upslope snow showers that we're seeing, as this low pressure system is kind of just hanging around the Canadian Maritimes there and spiraling basically some snow back towards the north and west and actually into northern New England. So that's going to continue, and actually later this afternoon we might see some of the heavier snow work its way into the area. We are expecting actually a pretty good amount of snow, maybe even more than the previous nor'easter, just from snow showers up here, locally heavy, especially in the higher terrain of the White Mountains, potentially seeing up to 8 or 10 inches of snow actually through tomorrow morning. So pretty significant, and a lot of blowing snow with the high winds we've been seeing also. So that'll be continuing really through Sunday. This is 7 o'clock in the morning Sunday there, and you can still see plenty of snow backed up across the White Mountains and also the northern part of Vermont and the Adirondacks there in New York. Just for fun, we'll take a look at a sounding here actually. So looking at the vertical temperature profile, you can see there is a lot of low-level moisture. That red and green line there, the temperature and the dew point, are basically the same thing from the surface all the way up to about 650 millibars or so. So plenty of low-level moisture then being lifted by the mountains, and also just by that lower pressure there, resulting in plenty of snowfall. A very favorable setup for some locally heavy at least, snow showers in the mountains here. Taking a look at the upper level winds, there's actually very weak upper level winds near this area of low pressure, and because of that, it's really not being kicked out of the region. The jet stream overall is diving much further south over the southeastern U.S. and also through the southern part of the western part of the country there too. Going forward, that's going to continue, but we do see that low pressure system slowly moved off to the east there, and then actually as that jet stream takes a little bit more of a northward turn, that's going to be potentially leading to the formation of, well, it will be leading to the formation of low pressure, but potentially tracking it closer towards the area here. The newest model runs have been trending a little bit closer to the area, which means a greater chance of snowfall. heading into the Monday-Tuesday time frame. Taking a look at the 3-kilometer NAM here, so this is actually a little bit more higher resolution and a different model than the GFS, or the Global Forecasting Systems model. It does show local snow showers basically right over the White Mountains here, the highest elevations of the Presidentials and also Franconia Ridge. You can also see a little bit of snow shower activity right along the spine of the Green Mountains in Vermont there. Going forward, we can see that snow is slowly rotating around that low over the eastern part of Canada there, and actually swinging some locally pretty heavy snow showers. Actually, you can see it's kind of hinting at a snow squall, basically, or very heavy but brief snow showers moving through southern Canada there, and actually tracking into northern Vermont. Some of that activity might be spilling over here into the whites. You can see actually some darker blue shading there. That's getting into later this evening, so could be seeing some pretty heavy snow up here actually on the summit, and resulting in at least 6 inches of snow through tomorrow morning, maybe as much as a foot of snow actually. So definitely a welcome sight for the ski areas around here also. Getting into the early morning hours Sunday, those snow showers are still continuing, but we are going to be seeing that slowly taper off getting into the later morning tomorrow as high pressure starts to build in out of the next storm system, which is tracking there. We'll take a look back just at the GFS model here to go take a look at the overall storm setup that we're looking for Monday and Tuesday. So going a little bit ahead towards Monday now, low pressure is developing off the southeastern coast there, pulling up plenty of moisture, and then depending on the track of this, depends on how much snow we'll be seeing up here. There is upper level low pressure over the Great Lakes, so really regardless of the track of this nor'easter, we're going to be seeing a little bit of snow up here. But if that low pressure starts tracking further inland, like this 60 model run here, the latest is showing we are starting to see some steady light snowfall across the area here. This is 7 o'clock in the morning Tuesday, and then that light snow continues really through about Wednesday morning or so. So if this model does pan out now, which is the GFS model was the one that was keeping the low a little bit closer, a lot of other model runs, or the Euro model and the NIM have come into better line with this actually, which this was the outlier yesterday, as Ryan was pointing out. Because of that, we're probably going to be seeing at least a couple inches of snow right now. But if this trends even a little bit further inland, we could be talking about even more significant snowfall really through about Wednesday morning or so. And so it definitely bears watching, and we'll give you an update on that also tomorrow morning at about 8:30. All right, so for more details on the forecast, you can check out mountwashington.org and our Higher Summits forecast. There's definitely a lot of snow that's blowing around right now, so I would also recommend checking out the Mount Washington Avalanche Center's forecast as well. There's probably some pretty dangerous avalanche conditions given how much snow is going to be kind of loading into those ravines there. And with that, I will bring it back inside and we can answer any questions that you might have.
So hello everyone. Don't hesitate, leave all your questions in the comments. We'll answer as many as we can get a chance to.
All right, this question has a few parts. Have you ever experienced the aurora borealis from up there? And if so, how much coverage have you seen? And can it be forecast in advance?
So, the short answer is yes, we have seen the aurora up here. The slightly longer answer is that it's not very common. A lot of different factors have to align. The first one being, we spend 60% of the year actually in the fog or in the clouds. So to be able to see the aurora, we need to be not in the clouds. We also need really no clouds to our north. We also need an active aurora, which is forecast actually not through us, but there are certain agencies that put out 48-hour and 3-day forecasts that look at incoming solar radiation and things like that. So that's your best chance to kind of get an overall idea of if there is a possibility for an aurora. Another factor is actually we need very little moonlight, so the moon can actually kind of block some of that. So for all those factors to align, it is fairly uncommon. Maybe once or twice a year we might glimpse it in various degrees of intensity. So did I miss anything there?
We can at least predict our viewing conditions, because if we're in the clouds, we're not going to be able to see a thing, unfortunately. So all of those things have to come together, and it is, as Taylor mentioned, a pretty rare event actually. Maybe once or twice a year that we see the northern lights up here.
Next question. Do we have any other questions?
Okay. Which one of you makes the best coffee?
That usually the volunteers, but
It's a good question.
I would say between the two of us, Taylor probably makes better coffee than I do. She's a better overall cook and baker.
Just really invested in the caffeine, that's all. So.
What is your current amount of snow?
Right now on the ground, we have about 10 inches of snow. We actually had more yesterday, but the winds are picking up right now. We've seen gusts up to already about 80 miles an hour. And so because of that, a lot of that snow is actually being removed from the summit right now and really transported over to Tuckerman's and Huntington Ravine on those strong westerly winds. So we're seeing our snowpack actually probably decrease a little bit, even though we're seeing a lot of snow falling from the sky right now.
Okay. How's Marty doing these days? Has he had a chance to sneak outside when it's been a bit warmer?
He has not chosen to sneak outside, you could say. He's been indoors. I actually just saw him a little while ago sleeping on one of the chairs here, but he's still doing very well. Anything to add to that?
He picks his days. He's a fair weather cat. A little ironic for being up here, but he really likes the days when there's not too much snow on the ground. He doesn't like kind of getting that snow on his paws.
He's looking forward to summer, I'm sure.
What are the conditions that create avalanche danger?
So a lot of new snow potentially, and wind loading of snow is something that we see, especially in Tuckerman's Ravine. I'm definitely not a snow scientist, so I'm just naming some of the things that I know in particular. You need some sort of weak layer, so a layer of snow that maybe formed a crust, and then because of that, it's basically potentially going to give way if there's added weight on top of that, or potentially beneath those layers of snow too.
And as we mentioned earlier, Tom mentioned earlier, if you check out the Mount Washington Avalanche Center's website, they actually have a lot of resources there on what different types of avalanches happen from which different types of conditions.
Yeah,
so,
really interesting stuff, but not my background.
Okay. Is the higher summer forecast only for the presidentials or all high peaks of the Whites?
It's for all of the elevations above about 4,500 feet. In the White Mountains here. Obviously, Mount Washington, the summit here, is the worst of those conditions, but if you are planning on hiking in the White Mountains here, you should be prepared for the worst of those conditions, which is really what you'd be seeing up here.
How did Marty come to join the crew?
So Marty joined the crew actually through a electoral vote, or a special presidential vote. So 2008, we had the CAT primary, and Marty was voted both the popular vote and the observer vote. He was the favorite, and so he came to live with us, and he was about 3 or 4 years old at that time. So, and he's been with us ever since.
He got more votes than all of the New Hampshire primary candidates also. Definitely worth noting.
Do you have a generator if you lose electrical power?
We do have backup generators in the event that we lose power. We are on grid power, though, actually, so really it's if the valley loses power that then those generators kick on for us. Definitely a crucial part of the operation here, though, is maintaining power and heat in the building also.
Aside from the inclement weather coming Monday and Tuesday, are there other storms coming?
This snowfall that we're seeing up here is definitely really only across the higher elevations that we're seeing significant snow. But this is a pretty significant event, actually. We only see 8+ inches of snow from snow showers maybe once a year or so. And then actually that Tuesday, it's really more of a Tuesday storm. Potentially could give us maybe 3 to 6 inches of snowfall for the higher elevations here if the current model run pans out. Besides that, we are in a pretty active pattern. Looking way ahead, there's several other storm systems that are going to be tracking through. I took a look at the longer range GFS getting out towards really the end of the month here, but it looks pretty snowy up here, which is a good thing. We've been wishing for snow for a while, so our wishes are coming true.
So I think we have time for one more question, and then we actually want to bring in the Kilted Hikers to say hello to you before we sign off today.
Well, the last question is, how many visitors have you seen recently?
As far as hikers go, on some of the nice days that we've had, we've seen as many as about 40 or 50 people over the course of the day outdoors. The building here is closed to the public, though, during the winter season. But we do have overnight guests like our Kilted Hikers who come up here, get a really unique experience. And as Taylor mentioned, the Kilted Hiker group here that's up right now was the leading fundraising team for Seek the Peak last year, and so they won the prize up here. But I would challenge maybe anyone else that's interested in Seek the Peak and creating their own team to maybe challenge these guys. So how about we'll bring the Kilted Hikers on camera here.
Just move our chairs out of the way
Yeah.
and let them.
Just go behind over the table.
So we'll have them all come on camera and just say hi quick. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
State your names.
I'm Chris.
And Bob?
Armando.
John? Dave?
Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Your name? Jason?
Jason?
Marv.
Keep going, keep going.
John Donovan.
I'm John from Cranston, Rhode Island.
Show your keys. Anybody who's got a key.
And that is the keys to the castle, actually. So the symbolic, basically, prize for winning the leading fundraising team from Secret Peak. So we really appreciate the support of all of you guys, and thanks so much. And look
Thank
forward
you.
to Secret
Thank
Peak
you.
2018.
Our pleasure. Yep.
All right, so we will connect again at 8:30 tomorrow morning and take a look at that potential nor'easter also. So thanks so much for connecting, and have a great rest of your day.
Bye.